Now at 6:30, it's Election Day and polls across Ohio close in just under an hour. What you need to know if you're still heading out to vote.
Plus, Boeing workers vote to end their nearly 2-month-long strike.
And in sports, Ohio football seeks bowl eligibility tomorrow night with its 6th win. Newswatch starts right now.
To Newswatch. It's Election Day, and across the nation, people are lined up to vote. We're joined now by Lucy Schaefer and Ariel Teppert to give us a closer look at some of the local elections here in Athens. Lucy, what's it looking like out there?
Yeah, guys, I'm right outside the First Presbyterian Church on Court Street, one of the 6 polling locations that you have in the city of Athens. People are still starting to trickle in to make their last-minute votes, and if you were able to get out there during the day, it was beautiful weather to do so. Now, according to Ohio Secretary of State Frank LaRose, the voter turnout numbers this year could be breaking records. 5.8 million back in 2020, and as of last night around 7 p.m., 2.5 million. So let's take a look at the voter rights that you have if you're still planning to make it out to the polls. First and foremost, you need to bring a valid form of photo ID. And if you're able to, make sure to stay in line if the polls close, because you have every right as an American citizen to vote this evening. If you make a mistake on your ballot, don't be afraid to ask a poll worker for a new one. And if the machines are down, don't worry at all. Make sure to ask a worker for a paper ballot. And if you have any problems, questions, or concerns, make sure to contact the number on your screen. Now, polling locations close in less than an hour. Make sure you get out there and exercise those rights. But for now, we're going to send it over to Ariel Teppert at the Athens Board of Elections.
Thanks, Lucy. I'm currently standing across from the Athens County Board of Elections, where votes will be tallied later tonight. With this year's presidential election being historic, it might take a while before the winner is announced. Polls across the country are getting ready to close, but the work has just begun. Local races will likely be called later tonight, but larger ones, like the presidential race, may not have a winner until later in the week. In some swing states, like Pennsylvania, officials are already asking voters to be patient while the votes are being tallied.
I just want to assure the American public that it will happen, but it will be sometime after midnight.
With millions of votes to count, it is no surprise that Americans will have to wait. Reporting for Newswatch, I'm Ariel Teppert, live in Athens.
98 voters in Nelsonville received a ballot without a key issue on it this morning.
Yeah, they did. Issue 23 is an initiative to move the city of Nelsonville from a charter form of government to a statutory one. The paper ballot voters filled out earlier today were printed without the issue and later reprinted at the Athens County Board of Elections to help quickly resolve the issue. Athens County BOE Director Deborah Quivy talked to WEB about how the board is resolving the problem.
We also are contacting those people to let them know that they can go back to the polling location. They will be offered that page, and it's the second page, and it will be paper.
Quivy apologized on behalf of the BOE and said because the ballots are sealed until they're opened at polling locations, there was no way to know about the misprint.
She also encouraged anyone with questions to reach out to the office directly.
WEB is your election source in Southeast Ohio, so get the latest on key races right here on WEB and online at web.org. And for more information on election races, tune in to WEB's news podcast, The Outlet. Be sure to stay tuned to our socials and WEB PBS YouTube channel and join us tonight at 11:30 p.m. for a special report as we cover the results live as they come in. Now, Emily, a lot of people are still making their ways out to the polls. How is the weather looking as they're doing that?
Well, it's looking absolutely beautiful, and it's going to be better than 2020 weather. And in fact, I looked it up. 2020 weather, the high for the day was about 62, so we're already about 15 degrees, 20 degrees warmer than that. And the low for tonight in 2020 was about in the 30s. And for us, it's going to be in the 50s. So if you haven't gotten the chance to vote, it's perfect weather to go do it, because even though we have a little bit of rain on our forecast over in the western part of the state, we're not going to be seeing that here in Southeast Ohio until about 8 in the morning tomorrow morning. So it's definitely the perfect time to get outside, go vote. And if you need to stand in line, you are set to go because you're not really going to need a jacket at all. Look at these temperatures behind me. They're looking absolutely beautiful. Those lovely orange and yellow colors across the state indicate that we're going to be in the low 70s, even in the upper 60s for the rest of this evening. Now, even though we do have a little bit of rain behind us, again, that's going to stay in the western part of the state, and we're going to continue to see these 70-degree temperatures and these beautiful clear skies as the evening continues to set in. Unfortunately for us, our humidity isn't very high right now, only about 44%, and we will be seeing that go up as this rain starts to settle into the area. But for right now, again, very comfortable conditions outside with just a little bit of a light breeze to cool you off a little bit if this is slightly too warm. Now, a bit more about that rain that's been going through Indiana and Illinois through the better part of the day today, but as this system continues to develop and build a little bit, it will slowly be making its way through Ohio, starting around 10 p.m. Up near Toledo area, but as it moves down to Athens, again, that's going to be more tomorrow morning. So as the system continues to develop and as this cold front pushes through, this evening is going to be pretty nice. Again, going to be seeing that overnight low of about 59 and that 60% chance of showers. That's going to be, again, really towards the western part of the state. We're not going to be seeing that until later tomorrow morning. So be sure to stay tuned for my full forecast. We're going to take a look at exactly what times you can expect this rain to come and what kind of weather we'll see after this.
Thanks, Emily. Polls are set to close soon, across the country for this year's election.
And while early voting brought record numbers in key battleground states like Georgia and North Carolina, other states will potentially spend days counting their ballots. Jen Sullivan is tracking the race and reports on what's at stake.
Americans heading to the polls to decide who will win the White House and shape the country's political landscape for the next 4 years.
I feel like this is one of the most detrimental moments we'll have in the country.
I'm excited to give women a chance to be represented.
The latest CNN poll showing Vice President and Democratic presidential nominee Kamala Harris having only a slight lead over former President Donald Trump among likely voters. But with the margin of error, there was no clear leader heading into Election Day. The winner will need 270 of the 538 electoral votes to clinch the presidency. The race likely boiling down to these 7 battleground states, where polling has found the two candidates are nearly tied. Among the most pivotal, Pennsylvania, where 19 electoral votes are up for grabs. Both candidates making their final campaign pitches in the Keystone State Monday.
It is time for a new generation of leadership in America.
Are you better off now than you were 4 years ago?
More than 78 million Americans cast their votes before Election Day, with millions more voting Tuesday.
People who don't get out and vote don't have anything to say.
No matter the outcome, history will be made, either with the first convicted felon becoming president, or if for the first time in 235 years, America elects a woman to the presidency. I'm Jen Sullivan reporting.
With polls closing in under an hour, it's important to remember that the popular vote does not determine the outcome. It's determined by the Electoral College, where the state political parties choose their electors.
Each state gets the same number of electors as it has members in the House and Senate, and the District of Columbia gets 3 for a total of 538. A candidate needs a majority at least 270 to win.
On Election Day, votes go into a statewide tally, with 48 states using a winner-takes-all electoral vote system. A projected winner is typically announced on election night or soon after, but the Electoral College vote, when the electors meet in their states to officially vote, is in mid-December.
Coming up, the state of West Virginia has issued a burn ban until further notice.
And Boeing workers vote to end their 2-month-long strike.
Even though we're seeing clear skies right now, we do have a little bit of rain on our forecast. Be sure to stay tuned for my full weather to break down this rain.
The final night of an extraordinary campaign. Will voters send Donald Trump back to the White House?
We stand on the verge of the 4 greatest years.
Or will Kamala Harris make history?
Are you ready to make your voices heard?
Tonight at 7 on WOUB.
This is the PBS Video app. Install it on your phone, tablet, smart TV, or other streaming device, and use it to access more of the PBS shows you love. But if you're looking for even more shows to binge like this, or early access to shows like this, then look for this icon. That's the PBS Passport icon, and it means that video is part of PBS Passport. Passport is our way of saying thank you to our station members. Donate to your local PBS station today, and one of the member benefits you'll receive is PBS Passport, which offers extended access to a growing library of new and favorite PBS programs. You can support your station and your community by becoming a member today. Visit pbs.org/getpassport for details. Watch PBS Passport anytime on any screen, wherever you stream. It's your ticket to the best of PBS.
Our unit, 1st Battalion, 5th Marines, in a 5-month period, we had 17 Marines that were killed. I was trying to figure out, well, what could I do? I should do a carving of a battlefield cross. I need to do them for the rest of the families now.
Being a Gold Star father, it's a club that no one wants to belong to. It means I got a big hole in my chest.
This will keep people remembering these guys long after we're all gone.
Monday at 10 on WOUB.
Lawsuits filed by 3 Athens high school football players who challenged their suspensions from the team have been dismissed. The judge in each case said the courts have no jurisdiction to review school disciplinary actions involving extracurricular activities. 2 of the students were suspended for drug-related offenses, and the 3rd for crimes he admitted to in juvenile court. The Athens School District argued that it has the final say when it comes to suspensions involving extracurricular activities.
West Virginia Governor Jim Justice has issued a burn ban for the Mountain State. According to the governor's office, the ban is in effect until further notice due to dry weather conditions and low water levels that create a higher risk of wildfires. Under the ban, any type of outdoor burning is illegal, including fires for camping, burning debris, or warming. Now, Emily, it's November now. Why are we seeing this burn ban?
For sure, yeah. Well, we usually see them in November because we have a lot of those fallen leaves, sticks, and a lot of that dry material that just really sparks up really easily. So just like they were saying, even though it's West Virginia, even if you're in Ohio, still don't park your car near any dry grass or don't dispose of any cigarettes or anything else that may spark and cause a fire, because you just have all those leaves, and especially since we've been in a drought, you don't have a lot of that ground moisture to really help moisturize all those plants or anything else to keep them from really burning. So you don't have a lot of that green material outside. But while we do have a burn ban, we also have some very warm conditions outside. Right now it's about 71, still seeing those really beautiful clear skies and a little bit of a breeze in the area. Very unseasonable for November. I know I was really looking forward to wearing a sweatshirt today, but unfortunately didn't get to because, again, we saw temperatures high in the 80s. We're seeing this all across the state of Ohio, all across this Appalachian area, even throughout the South. Some very, very warm conditions. And over to our friends in the Great Plains and Midwest area, things are a little bit chillier, and across the Rocky Mountains, we are even seeing a little bit of snowfall. Now, unfortunately, or fortunately for us, depending on how much you like the snow, we're not going to be seeing that anytime soon, but we do have some rain on our radar. Over near Illinois and Indiana, they've been seeing rainfall through a good portion of the day today. Now, this is going to be entering the northwest part of the state around 9 p.m., 10 p.m. tonight, but we won't be seeing it down here in southeast Ohio until mid-morning tomorrow. And that's because this is a very long cold frontal system that's really picking up a lot of this warm air, creating those clouds and really causing it a lot of instability in the atmosphere, creating all of these clouds right along here that are slowly moving up towards the northeast. And that's why it's going to take forever for that to kind of hit our area. It's going to be a couple of hours. So we might see a couple pop-up showers in the early morning before the system officially hits. But once we hit that around 9 a.m. time, that's when we're going to see the bulk of the system hit through. And we have this low pressure right above it that's allowing a lot of that air to really lift up and cause these clouds to form. Now, behind this cold front, we're going to have this uniform air that's going to be a little bit chillier. So while we aren't going to get down to the 40s or 50s that we saw in this upper Midwest area, it certainly will be getting chilly. but not tonight. Tonight we'll be seeing those overnight conditions still are going to stay in that 50-degree range, even close to 60. So we're going to see that overnight low of 59 degrees and that 60% chance of showers again in more of the western part of the state until we reach that mid-morning time tomorrow. And tomorrow we see that 80% chance of showers. Again, that's going to be for the morning time. The rest of the afternoon, we're just looking at a lot of cloud coverage, maybe the occasional shower around 1 to 2 in the afternoon as the system starts to wrap up. And we're going to see a high of 71. So a little bit of cooling compared to today, but definitely still on the warmer side of things for our high and both of our low. Our low will be a low of 53, so definitely on the warmer side of things. As we move to tomorrow, that's where we see that cold front passing through, lifting up a lot of that warm air that has a lot of that moisture in it from the Gulf, creating, again, these clouds that are moving over the area. And right behind it, we see this high pressure system start to develop, and that's going to help us out for the rest of the week. So Thursday, we see this high pressure. That's going to start to settle in right over the Great Lakes area as this cold front continues to make its way over towards the East Coast. But right behind it, we have a little bit of a low pressure system start to stir in the Great Plains area. And that's going to start to make some sense for us why we see this rain. Oh, unfortunately, no rain on the forecast, just some blue skies. Let me get that rain pulled up so you can see what we're expecting these next 7 days. We're going to be seeing that chance of showers on Saturday and Sunday because of that other low pressure system moving through the area. So Sunday is going to be more of a sustained showers throughout the day versus Wednesday, we're looking at just that one point in time during the morning for that rainfall. So Sunday, expect a rainy day, kind of cozy to stay inside. So that's a quick look at your week. Definitely a lot more rain than we had this past week.
Thanks, Emily. The Boeing strike is officially over. Workers on strike voted to accept the company's most recent offer yesterday. The International Association of Machinists said rank and file members voted by 59% to approve the deal. The deal includes an immediate 13% raise, raises of 9% for each of the next 2 years, and then another 7% raise in the fourth and final year of the contract. Altogether, members will receive a pay raise of more than 43%. Workers will also get a ratification bonus of $12,000. However, the deal did not restore the traditional pension plan they lost in 2014 from their previous labor deal. This strike that started September 13th was the most expensive in the United States in more than 25 years. The workers will be back at work tomorrow.
Next in sports, Ohio football returns from its bye week tomorrow to start midweek play. Hear from head coach Tim Albin and more on tomorrow's game with major postseason implications.
It's such a magical place.
The abundance of life, absolutely extraordinary.
And then it hit me. The world has to see this.
San Diego has more biodiversity than any county in the continental U.S.
Dark matter, we can't see it, we can't detect it, but this is the stuff that's holding our galaxy together.
Wednesday on WOUB.
I hear the echoes all through the meadows. Breathe in and let go. That sweet surrender. I've been running, running, running all through the night. You can knock me down, but I've got my will to survive. Rise up, rise up.
Together, we can make real change happen.
Regardless of your stage of life, whether you're starting your first job, getting the keys to a new home, or enjoying retirement, it's never too early or too late to create an estate plan to care for loved ones and support the causes that are meaningful to you. WOUB Public Media is pleased to have partnered with Giving Docs, a free resource for building an estate plan that fits your needs and protects the people and causes you care about. Visit WOUB.org and click the Support tab to get started today.
day America has been waiting for is finally here. There's no day more important than the first Tuesday of November, year in and year out, and everyone will have their eyes glued to their TV tonight. Yes, it's time for midweek action. Ohio's first midweek game is tomorrow night against Kent State. And it comes in an important spot for the Bobcats as they seek bowl eligibility for the third straight year and for the third time in Tim Albin's 4 seasons as Ohio's head coach of the program. No doubt, Ohio is absolutely in the mix for playing in the MAC championship game. Coming down the stretch, the team knows they're going to get every opponent's best shot.
I've been here a long time, and we've had a bullseye on our chest for many seasons. And I just say, hey, okay, we have a bullseye on our chest. Let's keep that target moving. It's harder to hit a moving target, so let's keep working. It's kind of my thought process on that, and our guys are certainly hearing that.
It's been a major talking point this year with conference realignment and being able to readapt. The East and West divisions of the MAC are gone. All Ohio needs to do from now until the end of the season is stay afloat in one of those top 2 spots, and we'll be seeing them in Detroit come December. I hope you left the milk and cookies out for John Rothstein Sunday night because it was Christmas Day for college basketball fans on Monday. Your Ohio Bobcats had their season opener. Unfortunately, an undefeated season is not in the cards for the Bobcats as they dropped their first game of the season to James Madison at their place for the MAC Sun Belt Challenge. Ohio will have the chance to win its first game in its home opener Saturday night versus UNC Asheville. Also in action tonight for its season opener, last night, was Ohio women's basketball. Also, they took part in the MAC Sun Belt Challenge. Similarly to the men, it resulted in the team's first loss of the season. With a team that returned a lot of talent, there were some promising signs. Kennedy Watkins scored 26 points, while Bailey Tabling added 14 points and 8 rebounds of her own. Turnovers, though, they were a problem and have carried over into this season as the Bobcats finished with 21 of them last night en route to a loss. Ohio soccer getting a few days off before the team's MAC semifinal match on Thursday. A handful of players will be heading into that game with some new individual hardware. 5 Bobcats receive all MAC honors, most notably junior center back Nora Roush winning MAC Defensive Player of the Year. In addition, the Roush, Eve Barish, and Jamison Brooker were named All-MAC First Team, with Celeste Sloma and Maya Kaufman being named All-MAC Second Team. Big-time awards for big-time players. If midweek football action wasn't enough for you, there's midweek volleyball action happening tonight as well. It's coming at a crucial time of the year for Ohio volleyball. Happening now, Ohio is at Kent State for their second meeting of the season. The Bobcats already took down the Flashes 2 weeks ago once, but need to do it again to stay alive for a MAC tournament bid with the team just outside the field. As of now, Ohio is up 1-0. This one's live on ESPN+. A busy middle of the week in Ohio athletics continues tomorrow with Ohio field hockey playing in the MAC tournament quarterfinal against rival Miami of Ohio. With an expanded tournament field this season, the Ohio field hockey snuck into the field as the 6th and final seed and will get another shot at Miami. The Bobcats fell to the Red Hawks 5-1 back on October 6th, but come tournament time, anything's possible. Game starts at 2:30 tomorrow afternoon.
Wow, Grant. So it sounds like we've got a lot of action this week.
There is. Look, if the election stresses you out, wanting something else to do tonight, there is action football on tomorrow. Ohio's back at it 7:30 on ESPNU against Kent State. Tonight, Miami taking on Ball State. That's a pretty good one. College football playoff rankings, too. Football doesn't sleep.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. I won't be either because I'm going to be up doing all this, watching all this election stuff, too. So, yeah.
Well, still ahead, speaking of the election, polls across the country are beginning to close. But this township in New Hampshire already counted their votes. This year, Gridiron is back and better than ever with our 25th season. I'm your host, Haley Hollinger.
And I'm your digital host, Donovan Varney. Throughout the week, make sure to tune into our Facebook, X, formerly Twitter, and YouTube for game preview segments on the pregame huddle. If you still can't get enough high school football, check out our Instagram and TikTok for more weekly content.
And of course, we'll see you right here every Friday night at 11:30 p.m. because there's nothing better than Friday nights and Gridiron Glory.
For more than 70 years, WOUB Public Media has been the place where people in our region turn to learn how stories of the past ignite the imagination of the future. It's where information, entertainment, and education work together to inform, enlighten, and inspire generations. It's the place where the community gathers to hear and see our world in new and innovative ways. WOUB, the public media you trust that's worthy of your support.
Today's the day.
You're home.
It's a celebration.
Here we go. No one can say I don't have accomplished daughters.
We need more fun in our family.
It's just like a real blessing.
Look at this spread.
That's good.
Your heart gets so full that you think it's gonna burst.
My people in the buffalo have a shared history together.
The buffalo was sacred, and they could not imagine existence without the buffalo.
They were put on this earth to help us survive.
To think that our greed and our industrialization would blink this thing out.
This is the buffalo's last chance.
They've survived. We've survived. We both persisted.
Thursday at 9 on WOUB.
With the presidential race being too close to call, you may be feeling stress, anxiety, worry, or all of the above. While mental health experts say it is important to feel all those emotions, it's also critical to take a step back and focus on managing that stress. Dr. Nicole Tarui with El Camino Health says the first step to managing election emotions is to tune into your own personal needs. She says to key into your feelings and be aware of warning signs that you may be getting overwhelmed.
Being able to assess our bodies, how are we feeling, and then being able to recognize when we need to take a step back and focus in around self-care.
Taruri says that self-care can include deep breathing, practicing mindfulness, and maintaining a healthy routine. That, along with the support of family and friends, can ease the stress caused by the election.
While states around the country are preparing to count up their votes, one township in New Hampshire has already decided who they want for president. In the tiny township of Dixville Notch, polls open at midnight Eastern time. Due to a tradition that dates back to 1960, all eligible voters gathered together and cast their ballots.
To me, it was a clear choice. As a leader, I don't respect Trump. I thought that his character is just anathema to what I think a leader should be. Kamala Harris, compared to Trump, was certainly ranked much higher in my estimation.
I voted for Donald Trump because of the policies, and those are the ones that, align with my beliefs. And so it wasn't necessarily voting for the man, but it was voting for the policies.
There were just 4 Republicans and 2 undeclared voters who participated. Once their ballots were cast, the votes were tallied and results announced. It showed Vice President Kamala Harris and former President Donald Trump tied with 3 votes each. Did you guys go out and vote today?
I actually mailed in my ballot a couple weeks ago, so I'm a little bit ahead on it there.
Hey, so did I. I made sure to get that done early, so I had to skip all the lines, do all that, so yeah.
Absolutely. I did it in person today. Not any huge lines. Went early while people were at work. It's the way to go.
Well, if you're looking to vote tonight, it's going to be a beautiful night to do that. We're expecting that overnight low of 59, so if there are any lines, you won't be needing your jacket at all. And even though we see that 60% chance of showers, that's going to be coming much later, and it's going to be starting in the western part of the state. So down here in southeast Ohio, we actually won't be seeing that rain for quite some time, and that's going to be coming tomorrow morning. So we'll see some clouds start to settle in as the evening continues, but again, another really nice night outside. Now tomorrow, that's really when we're going to be seeing the impact of this rain. We're going to be having a cold front moving through the area that's going to pick up a lot of this air that has a lot of moisture and a lot of warmth from the Gulf, and it's going to cause a lot of this cloud and a lot of this rainfall to occur right along that cold frontal line that we see passing right through southeast Ohio. And that's going to be hitting us around 8 to 9 in the morning. So on your way to work, you're definitely going to want to bring that rain jacket and that umbrella. And Friday, we'll get a little bit of a break, but Saturday and Sunday, we're going to be seeing a little bit more of those rain showers. We have a low pressure system moving through the area, so Sunday is going to be a gloomy, rainy day.
Well, that does it for our broadcast this evening. Thanks for watching.
PBS's special coverage of the 2024 election is coming up next. And then at 11:30, tune into WOUB's special report where we'll look at key state and local races. See you tonight.